Okay.
No, no, you can't. You can't start with 5 after we've gone live.
3.
So,
3.
okay.
No, you can't do. It's too late. All right, say something. Say something patriotic.
Intelligent. Oh, I thought you were going to say intelligent. America.
That's. Is America patriotic?
Yes.
Yeah, well, it is in America, but is it patriotic everywhere else in the world? Because
Okay. I got one then. I love my country.
Yeah. So that would take in our international audience.
Yes.
As well, because patriotism is something that that applies to every country, right? Like if you're a patriot, then it just means you love your country. It's not exclusively American. Right.
That's a good point.
What about if they're not? Yeah. Are there like regions that aren't necessarily countries and they're just like regions? Would that cover them?
What do you mean?
I don't know. Maybe there's like some. I guess everything would have a country, wouldn't it? There's not like some just nondescript island that it's its own little place, like some pygmy tribe or something out somewhere that isn't necessarily technically part of a country.
Not associated with a government.
Yeah.
Right. So is that
at first I thought you were talking about like East Coast. I like the East Coast because that's a region.
Right.
Right, but it's part of a country.
Well, yeah.
So that's a great question. I mean, do you have to have a country to be a patriot? Can you be a patriot?
There's a man without a country.
Right. Can you just be floating around out there? Is it even possible to live someplace where there is no country?
That's what I'm wondering. You know, is that a possibility? And then how would you be patriotic? What would you say at that point? Yeah.
And why would you be patriotic? Because it's probably. I mean, who cares? Who cares? I don't think there's a place where you can live on the planet anymore, is there? Unless it's maybe underwater. Maybe you'd have to live at the bottom of an ocean somewhere outside of, in international waters.
Under the sea.
Yeah.
Under the sea.
Ooh. So so every cruise ship basically is its own government, right? Or its own
country.
Thing. Entity.
So can you be patriotic to be like, I love Norwegian Cruise Lines?
Well, the Vatican, right? The Vatican is a country. Do they have a government? They got police and stuff.
I don't know. And I'm a little sorry that we started this conversation when we did because now it's time to actually start the show, you guys. So let's get serious.
What? Okay.
All right.
Let's get serious about the comic. Right?
Yeah, let's get serious about this. All right, everybody, buckle up, sit down, and I'm going to try to start the theme song, and if it runs true to form, no one's going to hear anything. So here we go. Can you hear it?
Yep.
It worked.
That's a miracle.
Only took 10 weeks.
Antarctica has no government. Hello to our viewers from Antarctica. We believe you can be patriotic about your country, even though you have no government.
Starving comics. Starving comics.
Ooh.
Oh.
That was the
It's
closest
like the
I have
DVD
ever been.
logo that goes around the screen, and we're just waiting for it to hit the corner.
Yep.
And one day you'll hit that corner, John.
No, actually,
but today is not that day.
It will never hit that corner. Welcome, everybody. This is the Starving, not you two.
Wow.
This is the Starving Comics Quarantine Show. I am the closest thing that you will have to a host. My name's John Branyan, and with me are my intrepid friends, Intrepid friends up in the top right-hand corners, Mr. Brian April. Brian April. And in the lower center, Mr. Juan DeVivo. Everybody, put your hands together. Make some noise.
Good to see you. Calm down.
Juan DeVivo. Look at all of those. Kara is never stingy with the applause emojis. Have you noticed that? She just throws them around like they're free.
Got him a Costco.
A limited supply.
Is there anything? We were speaking about patriotism. Is there any sort of patriotic information or stories from this week and that you guys need to pass on before we kick this show off righteous?
Yeah, the DeVivos are all COVID free. We got tested this week.
Oh,
so that's patriotic, right?
That was fun.
Hey, we live in America. We're COVID free.
As a family, you went and got tested for COVID.
As a family. That does sound weird.
But did you socially distance? Were you socially distant as you get tested?
I'm hearing it out loud.
You know how to party, don't you?
Not in the doctor's office. Yeah, we weren't in the doctor's. We were together, but we're a family.
So what was it like getting the? Did you get the Q-tip shoved up your brain?
That's a generous word for it. Q-tip has a nice soft edge on it, but this thing was like a wand, I guess you could say, like a plastic wand. And she went through the thing about, okay, I'm going to put this much in your nose. I'm like, you shouldn't have told me that. You should have just done it. And then I would have been like, okay. And then you have to sit there for 15 seconds and she twists it around and your eyes are watering like you're cutting onions. And then she pulls it out and you go, oh, glad that's over. But I think she took a piece of my brain because I don't remember what intrepid means. John said
it means COVID free.
Okay. Yes, intrepid. Thank you.
You bet.
That's what I am.
Nobody burned themselves with any sparklers or fireworks. Last night, I can't read that. Last night was the largest display of community-wide illegal fireworks I've ever seen. You would have been proud, Joe. Why would I have been proud?
I would agree with that. It seemed like everybody in my town had. I think they gave them out the stimulus checks. I'm not sure, but it was, and they've been going on for days. Like
that's what
it started.
Were for.
Yeah, they started last week and just carried on every night through the week, and then last night it was just. They were doing it early, which makes no sense. You know, it's still light out. What are you doing? Like, is this your first 4th of July? No. Even kids know. You wait till it's dark. And
these fireworks don't work in the daytime.
Exactly. And then it kept going into this morning, which was nice. And so, thank you.
I'm curious about.
I did see the footage of LA. They had like a gunshot going across, and everybody's fireworks were going off. And I'm like, that's how it needs to be done.
That was the same state that had all the brush fires just a few weeks ago, wasn't it?
Yep. They started another one today from those. So thank you, everybody.
Yeah. I'm curious about the illegal fireworks. Is there even such a thing anymore? Are any fireworks actually illegal? I mean, you can pretty much the neighbors at our place were shooting off like howitzers and cannons, and they had flamethrowers, and I'm like, does anybody ever get stopped? Who polices the fireworks? And does anybody ever get busted? Is there ever a fireworks party that the people come in with fire extinguishers and stuff and riot gear and put it out? I don't know.
Perhaps it's a discovered branch of the government that we haven't. They're underfunded, so it's just like one guy, and he can only bust like one family per year.
Either that, or he comes in, he's like, "Hold on, you're lighting that the wrong way." It's like this,
right?
I'm going to show you how to do that.
All right. Well, I am jazzed as could be. You probably could tell. No, because we've got a special guest tonight. We don't always have a guest, do we?
No.
Sometimes we soldier on, just the three of us in our sorry state of loneliness. We three intrepid people. But tonight tonight we've got my good friend John Thomas Oakes with us, and he's going to do some music. So as I bring him out, you guys know what to do. Kara, spare no applause expense with the icons. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. John Thomas Oakes, there he is.
Hey, how's it going? I've got a fireworks story.
There's no better reason.
They were asking about the
Learn.
legality of fireworks. I got one, a quick one.
Okay.
So we used to do church camp in Unicoi, Tennessee every summer, and it always fell on the 4th. So they'd have a huge fireworks display every night. Well, the church camp was next to a neighborhood, so they would always call the police. And so one July 4th, we did this incredibly huge fireworks display because every faculty member agreed to bring at least $100 worth of fireworks. And it went on for about an hour. And so the cops pulled up, and my dad's best friend was the dean of the week, Bob Robinson. The cops pulled up and said, "Are you in charge?" And Bob said, "Yeah." And he said, "Well, we got a call that you guys were shooting off a few fireworks here tonight." And Bob said, "No, sir, it's not true. We shot off a lot of fireworks here tonight." And the cop goes, "Well, that's great. It's cool. I just had to come and check." So carry on. So that's about the closest we ever got to getting in trouble for shooting fireworks.
Well, at least something happened. That was
Yeah.
that restores my faith in the fact that they're illegal. Because remember when we were kids, when I was a kid, at least, you guys are all younger than me, but when I was a kid, there was out of state fireworks, and those were the ones that you wanted.
Yeah.
You wanted the out of state fireworks. And which state was it specifically that all of these fireworks were supposed to come from? Because every state went to an out of state place to get them, and so it seems like there should have been at least one state where you could get in-state fireworks, and that's what everybody was after, right?
Yeah, for me, it was New Hampshire.
Was it New Hampshire?
Yeah, it was New Hampshire. New Hampshire is where you went in. I mean, there's state flower is a satellite dish, so I mean, it's kind of goes along with it. But yeah, New Hampshire is the place to go.
There's nothing off limits in New Hampshire.
Nope. Live free or die.
Is that why? Aren't there a lot of credit card companies in New Hampshire?
No, I don't know. I don't know if they would be. There was a lot of cows. I know that.
Cows? Yeah.
There's cows. It's very rural. People wouldn't imagine it being, well, maybe they would. But I was very surprised, and I grew up near there. So. Yeah.
Have you ever been to Old Hampshire? Across the pond?
I have not. I like that, though. If you look at like a lot of the early colonies and states, and they just blatantly just rip off all the towns and cities from Europe and England.
Right. Stick it to King George.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
That was what we did. Wasn't it funny? We want a whole new country, but we're going to take all of the names from the cities.
Yeah.
Bring them over here.
You think they were thinking ahead, and they were going to invade England and obliterate those? Like those were going to be no more. They're going to wipe those off, and they were thinking ahead.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
I don't know.
Okay, New York,
tonight,
York is gone.
If we get we did a little experiment before we started to find out how far back in time Juwan is from the rest of us, and so let's just do it so that everybody has an idea how it works. Okay, so I'm going to count to 3, and when I say 3, all of us are going to stick our hands up in the air when you hear me say 3. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. So that's an idea of how far out of sync we are with each other. So those guys,
not we, just me.
No, it's all of us. Because when I said 3 while you're listening, that we're rude and we talk over each other like in different planets. All right. So what I want to do tonight is, if we get to 100 simultaneous viewers at any point, then I will open up this envelope. See it? Do not open before 100 viewers, and it's hermetically sealed. It is opaque. It cannot be. Yeah, this is some tight security. But inside this are the lyrics to the theme song that we do not know the lyrics to. We have a theme song, JT, that we don't understand what the lyrics are. So I'm going to play them for you. JT's actually a guy who's written a bunch of musicals, so he might be able to discern what these lyrics are. Let me play it here.
Ooh. Yes, please figure it out.
Here we go.
It's the Quarantine Show! Ladies and gentlemen, the man who is crushing quarantine with It's Not Killing Him First, John Barania!
I always mean to say something about, I never say anything about the first part where he sounds like Curly from the Three Stooges. It's the Quarantine Show!
Yeah, that's great.
When he's not,
it's the Quarantine Show.
when he's not giving a birth.
I'll play that. I'll play the last part. Here's the last part, just one more time.
Ladies and gentlemen, the man who is crushing quarantine with It's Not Killing Him First.
Yeah, when he's
Have
not
any
giving
idea?
a birth.
And he's not doing what?
When he's not giving birth.
Yeah,
That's not July 4th.
We don't know. When it's not July 4th.
Yeah, I'd have to listen to that a few more times.
It doesn't matter. You could listen to it 1,000 times. We have. So there's the envelope right there, and the actual lyrics are inside that envelope. So if you're having trouble sleeping, if it's driving you crazy, if it's starting to affect your work, then you need to we need to get the numbers up to 100 so we can all put this to rest. It's also time for the Star Spangled Ding Dong update, the Dang Ding Dong update. JT, how many weeks ago was it? 5?
Yeah, I think we're hitting the fifth. Fifth week, fourth update.
I think so. It's June 1st, I think, was right, like the first week of June. Yeah, so if you've got some decaying pastry music that you can play for this, JT. There you go. So we put the ding dong on a plate, and we've been watching it slowly degrade over the last few weeks. And here's where we are this week. There's the ding dong, and see, it's just not. I think that's all it's going to do.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be. I think it has reached timelessness, and it is no longer going to decay. Look at.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, it's got some kind of a little. See that little bump there? That little hole. I don't know where that came. It looks like something tried to eat it.
Maybe it'll be like a Florida sinkhole.
That's-
Just all of a sudden, 1 week it'll just fold in on itself.
Yeah. There's the dead bug too. That dead bug is.
I think at some point we cut it open and see what's happened on the inside.
You know what? We should do that. You guys, if you guys watching at home would like to see us actually slice open the ding dong, let us know.
Is what it should
We'll do
look
this
like.
democratically.
Right here.
Yeah.
I think always look like the on the box, right?
That's an actual picture of a real one from day one.
Yeah, not shopped or anything.
Not at
Just
all.
Totally
Yes.
straight into
I mean,
it.
look at all the spangles on there.
There's nothing. That's exactly what they look like. Ours never looked like that, even when it was brand new. All right, so you can't even see it anymore. The little grease patch that started to expand out from underneath it has gotten so big now that you almost can't play. And so this thing is, once the moisture is gone, that it's just going to be a mummy. It's going to be a dang ding dong mummy.
I wonder if it's going to be like in the movies when a bad guy will die, or a magical bad guy, and it looks totally the same until you touch it, and then
Yeah.
kind of turns into a cloud of dust. That'd be crazy.
Yeah. Or like that. You
Here we
remember?
are at week 8 with the Star Spangled Ding Dong, and just kind of.
There you go.
Yeah.
Kind of like Buffy the Vampire Slayer when they hit him and they
Yes,
just explode
kill a
into dust.
vampire. That's what I should have talked
Or
about.
that old Vincent Price movie based on the facts in the case of M. Valdemar. Did you ever see that one where this guy was hypnotized right before he died, and then he died and he was still under control of the hypnotist? And at the end, he comes back to life to save his wife from his clutches, and he just melts all over the guy.
Oh.
Pretty cool.
Just melts.
Yeah.
Like Indiana Jones, like
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, Red Lost Ark.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to build up dissecting the ding dong too
That's
much.
what will happen
but
right there.
There you go. If that happens, then we probably will get in trouble for setting off illegal fireworks.
That's true.
Actually, a mushroom cloud. Oh my gosh. Honest officer, all we did was slice open a ding dong. That's all we did.
How are we
all right.
It's not on
It's
the
time also for it's time for last week's comments of the week. So JT, if you got some comments of the week music, fire it up.
Comments of the week music.
I'm loading.
Comments of the
Stevie Wonder
week.
vibe. Stevie Wonder.
Comments of the week. Loading up comments of the week. Loading up comments. Comments of the week. Comments of the week. We got comments. Oh, comments. It's comments of the week. Comments of the week.
Yay!
All right. Here we go. First comment comes from Adam W. Sitting at my desk in my office, I can't help but think this is so much better than what I'm getting paid to do.
Well, Adam West?
Wow.
Is Adam West watching our show?
That would be really tough. Because I think he
we don't
died
know where he is.
4 years ago.
Yeah, we don't know where he is. We don't know
Did
if
he?
they got
I think so.
They have YouTube in either place.
Well,
Yes, but in the other
this-
place, it's John's connection.
probably is better than whatever he's
Don't get fired, Adam. Don't get fired for
Is
watching.
my connection going out again?
No, it's not too bad.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're not actually getting paid to do this, which is the irony there. That's
Yes, he died
the
in
reason I wanted to
2017.
include this quote, because this is better than. That's sad. All right, we're going to move on.
It's the sad 4th of July starving.
Cindy S. Cindy S. says, I'm going to find out that lyric that we just listened to isn't even English. I thought that would be fantastic
Ooh.
if it's some sort of.
Yeah.
Just goes into Slavic, Polish.
Or Latin.
Yeah.
Pig Latin.
Wouldn't Latin be kind of scary, though?
Or Elfish.
Yeah.
Ooh, that would be cool. That'd be classy to have a theme song that has Elvish.
I'm going to go watch Lord of the Rings to figure it out.
Yeah.
Because they got subtitles.
They do.
So,
Oh,
we could match it up.
they had a bigger budget than we do, though.
Could. Well, but we could shake a little money loose for something important like translating our theme song into Elvish.
That's true. And if we
That
had a
won't
little
cost
bit less,
more than what?
Well, I can Google translate into Elvish. Translate.
but we don't know what it is. in English.
Oh, from Elvish. Why would not use Google Translate for this? It has an audio feature. It's just anyway.
Could be Dothraki too.
That's true.
It can detect the language.
And if it's not Elvish, maybe it's Elvis.
It could be Elvis.
Oh. Go for verse.
Did he?
What is love in a first?
Did Elvis have his own language?
Weird reveal the lyrics.
I know he was the king of rock and roll, but I didn't know he was literally the king, like with his own language and everything else. Well, moving on. Rachel K says someone ought to make a parody of Frere Jacques about the Star Spangled Ding Dong.
Spangled Ding Dong, it fits. Oiling on the plate, paper plate. Don't forget the bug now. With a missing leg. It's
With
about
the
to...
missing. It's not decomposing. It's not decomposing.
There you go. That's good. Ding ding dong.
Spangled ding dong, spangled ding dong. I can't do the whole song. It is decomposing.
There's no moisture. There's no moisture.
Yeah.
It's
Big expanding grease spot. Big expanding grease spot.
The
Tune
bug
in
has
next
died.
week. Tune in next
The
week.
bug.
Has died.
We could actually sing Frere Jacques to the bug and just, are you sleeping? Are you sleeping? No, you're dead.
Have you seen my other leg? It is gone.
Crunchy bug.
They're very dry. All right, there you go, Rachel. We just did it on the spot.
Just put all that together.
We are just on-demand comedy right here.
We nailed it.
Improvisation.
All right. This is about the Danny DeVito knockoff cutout. Knockoff cutout says it Daniel Devotional instead of Danny DeVito.
That's from
Remember we were talking.
Yeah.
Yeah. You remember we were talking about the Danny DeVito knockoff and it had the hologram so that you could tell the difference between the real one and fakes.
Right. Never buy imitation Danny DeVito cutouts.
Right.
Lower quality.
If you see it at like a flea market or a swap meet, probably not the real thing.
Look for the hologram.
That's right.
And if you can't find the hologram, then you need to call your local authorities and let the vendor know that they are peddling bootleg Danny DeVitos.
Yeah. They want to be able to take down those bootleg celebrity cutout rings because that just takes the economy.
It's a big problem. I believe they're going to talk about that in the first debate coming up. So.
What if your platform is taking down counterfeit celebrity cutout rings?
It's a huge problem. I mean,
awesome.
last time it was opioids and heroin. Now it's knockoff celebrity cutouts.
It's the unknown epidemic.
What
is this world coming to?
All of these? What are we going to do about all these fake DeVitos? What are we going to do about it?
That'd be an awesome photo op. You know when they bust the drug rings and they got all the merchandise out on the table? You just got like Iron Man,
arms full of Danny DeVitos. And then if we're still not over the coronavirus for the debate, we can put the Danny DeVitos in the seats to space out for social distancing.
You know what? We talk every week about how important this show is. And it's just so underrated. The amount of things we are looking for bipartisan issues that we can all agree on. And we found one just right here. Doesn't matter, Democrat, Republican, liberal, conservative. We can all agree that the knockoff celebrity cutouts it's got to end, right?
Yeah, has to.
Do you know any Battle Hymn of the Republic?
We need a hashtag. Oh
It doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. If you're on the left or the right. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. We, as Americans, must come together and address the real problems facing this country today. Knock off celebrity cutouts. Have you ever noticed when you've gone into a store and there's a celebrity cutout there? You don't know if that's made in America. You don't know if that's made in Taiwan or China or other places. But it's time to come together and fight the injustice that is knock off celebrity cutouts.
I brought a tear to my eye, Brian.
Oh,
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm a little weepy. I am a little weepy.
Some of us just went to church.
All right. Here's a fun fact, you guys. Danny DeVito heard 77 consecutive no's on auditions, likely due to his height, before finally hearing a yes.
Sounds like me in high
I
school.
want to ask. I almost asked if it was the same audition.
That's a pretty good record, though. I heard Colonel Sanders hit 350 chefs before he even wanted to try his secret recipe.
John wants to know if it was. He wants to know if it was the same audition. Maybe Danny DeVito.
He walks back in. No. Walking back in. No. You know.
Danny's like, "What'd you say? What'd you say? What'd you say?" We had to tell him 77 times. No.
Okay.
I think the wording is funny too. He heard 77 consecutive no's, likely due to his height. So as if short people can't hear as well. Is that what that means?
Did they just play that song? No, 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 no,
Oh.
no, 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 no.
No.
Nobody's as short as you are. Nobody can do acting like you do.
Like you
Anyway,
do. Nobody else has a cutout like you have.
do. No, no, no.
I think you auditioned for Superman. Superman was an audition, maybe, that they turned him down for. I like to know the role that he got turned down for.
Yeah, that's true.
Patton.
I'm trying
That's
to
true.
think of like a really tall
maybe-
character.
Can you imagine Patton, Danny DeVito walking out in front of that background of a big American flag? It's only like this big on the screen.
camera?
That is a great point, Joanne. That's a great point. Like if he was trying out to be James Bond
Right.
or
Conan the
or
Barbarian.
Thor.
Hoosier. Hoosier. Sound went over his head.
Danny DeVito is Conan the Barbarian.
Oh,
Pack your ankles.
I'd pay to see that.
hear the lamentation of the people.
He,
Crush your
he would have gotten a yes from me.
You're in.
Fantastic.
We need to see this.
Yes, I want to see this movie. All right. PJP says, define I'm new. Okay, so first of all, it's interesting when a person has just initials that they use as their first name, and then I put their last initial. It comes out Pijip, Pijip, Pijip.
Yep.
But for those of you who are new to the show, what we do is we have a little segment where we do a telethon, and then we ask you to invite new people to view the show, people who are not currently viewing the show. So the definition of a new person is somebody who, when we say, let's just go ahead and say it. Let's just say, invite a friend to come and watch this show. Okay. Now, when that friend comes in, all they have to do is type into the comment section, I'm new, and our own Brian April will welcome them personally to the show using one of his celebrity voices.
Even if they are a new human, we'll say hello to them, even if it's just a baby who's brand new.
Right.
Even if you're not just new to the show, if you're new to the world, we will say hello to you.
Correct. Even if you don't understand English.
Right.
But what about those who have been here since before Brian started saying hello to new people?
I have an idea. We can do
what
this
is it?
for next week. If you're in and you're here early, and we start doing that, I will read. If you put something up there, I will read it in a different voice for you. So if there's a phrase that you want me to say, then I will do that.
Oh,
that'd be fun.
Okay, that's a great idea.
We'll do it like movie
That's
announcer
a great
voice.
idea.
Or,
all right, so next week, so it will be part of our pre-show, right?
Yeah,
right. Part of our pre-show.
Yeah, we can do that.
So they can basically have you say things. So that's a reason to show up a little early next week. Those of you who join us later, the pre-show usually get rolling a couple minutes before the show officially starts, and we talk about just whatever we are thinking about, and it usually goes pretty badly. It's usually pretty much not that interesting and terrible. But next week we'll have something to do.
Too bad Jeff can't get here early due to the day change.
I
got you, Jeff. I got
Morgan
you.
Freeman. Morgan Freeman, who is making accommodations for Jeff.
Yep.
Because he's not going to be able to be here next week. See, we are probably the most inclusive show online. We try to accommodate everybody. All right, I think that's the last of the quotes. So now that we know what a new person is, yeah, this slide is intentionally left blank. Okay, so now we come to the part of the show where our own Brian April reviews a product from Amazon. And this week's product, I believe, is How to Avoid Huge Ships, which oddly enough is actually a book. I think this is the first book that we've reviewed from Amazon.
And you'll notice
Kindle version, by the way.
It's $89.99 for paperback. So
wow,
right,
high quality book,
right.
A lot of value, a lot of good.
Right, and there's one. This is a legitimate paperback book. There's also one collectible that's available for $175. And the collectible version has a hologram on it, so you it's got a hologram, and it's got a sticker of Danny DeVito in the back cover, so you can tell.
That's how you know the hologram is authentic.
Scratching snake sticker.
Look for Danny DeVito, and that will verify the hologram. All right, so what are you going to tell us?
Verify the hologram.
So for this one, there are no questions because I think it's pretty self-explanatory. So there are just some reviews.
I can't believe nobody on Amazon asked, "What's this book about?"
I'm really disappointed too. But so we have a couple things. We have a few. I think they're great. So be careful to get the latest edition. I don't want to be negative, but none of the reviews I have read have addressed the fact that there are two editions. You want to make sure you would buy the latest edition so you have the most up-to-date information. Do you want to get run over by a huge ship just because you neglected to buy the latest edition? No, I didn't think so. So this one's a good one. It's a little long.
Flipping through the table of contents, trying to find the ship, and it's like, I don't see it. Is this a huge ship or not? Here we go. Where is it? Okay. Why no Kindle edition? Given that there is a huge ship bearing down on me right now, I am extremely disappointed that I cannot get in. And it cuts off. So clearly,
we don't even know.
Something bad happened there. Let's see. Great advice published too late. I wish I read this highly informative title in the late 90s. My husband and I both suffer from PTHSCD, post-traumatic huge ship collision disorder, which we acquired while piloting our own huge ship. I remember it was like yesterday. We were carrying over 3 million gallons of blue paint to Morocco when, wouldn't you know it, we collided with our competitors. They had about 4 million gallons of red-brown paint on board, and before we knew it, we were all marooned.
Oh, my gosh. I'm mad that I'd listen to that.
Jawan, you're mad. You're mad because you didn't think of it.
That's right.
Yeah, probably.
We do have a negative, 1 star out of 5. I think this book misses the bigger issue. We shouldn't just be avoiding huge ships. We should be confronting them. If we spend our lives running away, the huge ships win. I think we get two left. Yeah, 2 left. All right. Let's go with this one. I don't know if it was the pressure of adult life or the demands of college, but I began to experiment with huge ships in my late teens. I began by looking at huge ship magazines in my basement when my parents weren't around. Then, one day my mom came home early and unexpectedly caught me in the act. Both of my parents were furious. They asked me where I got the magazine, and I said I found it, and I only thought it contained articles on small watercraft. As a result, I started to sneak out at night, telling my parents that I was headed to a friend's house to watch Full House, but in reality, I was in the library, reading up on huge ships. As my career developed, I found an apartment that I could afford and moved out of my parents' house. My interest in huge ships only grew. My apartment became a center for trafficking huge ship paraphernalia, model huge ships, pictures of huge ships, life preserves, you name it. Eventually, some neighbors complained, and the owner of the apartment building had me evicted. By that time, I was so far gone that I didn't care, and I moved into a hostel. It was the perfect place to continue my pursuit of huge ships. The rent was cheap, drifters came and went, everyone minded their own business, and once in a while, a new person would come along with scale models of huge ships in Turkey. We had a lot of wild nights, and I was having trouble holding down my job. Eventually, I got fired. One day, it dawned on me that if I don't get away from huge ships, I'll end up dead. By pure luck, I ran into a fellow who went through the same thing, and he recommended Timmer's book. Between the book and my support group, I made progress and got back on my feet again. So that's a great story for humanity, right? I think we can all relate to that. And then last one.
It's
sorry, go ahead.
Just a time. Well, here's the thing. Soundtrack said there's a comment that it's a second edition.
Yeah.
Now with crucial techniques that were left out of the first edition, which is a.
The first edition spent too much time on this.
It's true. All right, last one. This book is great. It undoubtedly has saved myself and my family from many close encounters with large ships. Remember that large ships are solitary hunters and rarely travel in large packs. If you do find yourself in proximity to a large ship without an adequate barrier through which you might safely observe it, immediately recognize that you are in danger. Avoid splashing on the surface of the water and try to swim smoothly at all times. Avoid sudden or erratic movements when in the presence of a large ship, as this may draw attention to you and, worse yet, give the appearance of being wounded. If you see a large ship nearby while diving, stay still as possible to avoid attracting its attention or threatening it. In the event that a large ship is tracking you and seems to be ready to attack, try to stay calm. Do not look directly at a large ship. Make yourself look big. Whatever you do, do not run. Running away from a large ship is all but inviting the attack, and inciting a chase can prompt uncertain ship into attacking. Avoid inadvertently challenging a large ship. Do not pee in a large ship's domain. An innocent bathroom break may be interpreted by a large ship as an act of aggression and may perceive you as a threat if you urinate in its territory. Fishing boats and anglers from shore can attract large ships looking for an easy meal, so refrain from swimming near them. This advice should go without saying. Almost any ship that is taunted or harassed will eventually defend itself. Large ships are no exception, though their deadly predatory capabilities make the consequences much higher than with most ships. So stay safe out there.
They give away the whole premise of the book. I mean, basically, you don't have to buy the book now.
Well, it's $90, so.
That whole list. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, if they're giving that away for free, think of all the other knowledge that's in there.
I like that Jawan thinks it should have come with a spoiler alert.
Oh, yeah. Then we should have said, don't read further if you don't want to know. There's all
Yeah.
the illustrations.
Fantastic.
So there's a ton of illustrations.
Yeah. Great job. Great job, Brian.
Thank you.
All right. So before we get to John Thomas is gonna do some lyrics for us for our theme song. But before we get to that, you guys, it's time for this week's episode of Unsolicited Advice. And yeah, this one is going to hit close to home. I'm just going to say that right now. Okay. So I'm looking at you, Juwan.
What did I do? Is this about or beards?
No, if this becomes too painful and you need to step away for a little bit, we understand and we support you in that. All right. I have a name that's pretty common but has multiple pronunciations. I pronounce my name the less common way, and usually when I meet new people, they pronounce it the more common way. When I try to kindly correct them, I actually pronounce it Kara, not Kara. More often than not, people push back. Everything from, well, all the Karas I know pronounce it the other way, to, that's weird, and I wouldn't spell it that way if I pronounced it like that. I try to be patient, but this annoys me to no end, partially because I'm 100% sure I am spelling and pronouncing my own name correctly. Partly because I have had this conversation no less than once a month for 20 years. I know people don't love being corrected, but I do my best to clarify kindly with a smile and struggle to keep that smile when the umpteenth person in my life tells me my name is weird. I don't want coworkers' first impression of me to be woman who has no sense of humor about name. So more often than not these days, I just don't correct it and skip the discussion. But then if a coworker I've worked with for a while does notice that I introduce myself differently than how they're saying my name, they're annoyed I didn't correct them sooner. I feel like I can't win. Any advice for language I can use to correct mispronunciations and shut down pushback without getting defensive? It's especially challenging when it's someone like my grand boss or senior executives telling me how I should pronounce my name.
I feel this all the way.
I think Juan should go first. Go ahead, Juan.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Brian, I love that. I love that you're deferential to my expert advice.
Go ahead, Juan.
The worst one, I've ever had a boss. I've had bosses mispronounce my name, and once I correct them, and if they don't go back, then I just go, okay, well, just call me that for now. But yeah, I don't, because this is executive level stuff right here, and I've had the problem for more than 40 years, so I've not been able to actually, I haven't been able to correct it. Let's go. The worst thing I've ever had was a lady just said, shouldn't. I'd say, hey, my name is Juwan. And she says, Juan? I'm like, no, it's Juwan. You pronounce it, Jay. It's Italian. She says, shouldn't it be Juan? And I'm like, I don't, what was that a breakthrough for me? You think I was going this long without knowing how to get? Now, I would be like the person who said I wouldn't spell it that way. If I pronounced it like, oh, really? What would be your spelling that you would spell your name? My name. How would you spell my name? But yeah, no matter how you do it, you're gonna look like a jerk. So good luck, Kara.
You have nothing for her.
I would say K-Ray. She should say her name K-Ray. I think that's the way to go.
K-Ray.
Just go embrace it. Go with it. Either that or just say they're not real Karas or K-Rays. That's what I do. When I see a Brian, that's kind of similar. It's just a Y, B-R-Y-A-N. And they say, oh, mine's with a Y. I'm like, well, you're not a real Brian. So
they haven't been approved. They haven't been approved in the Kara society.
And I ask them to turn around and look for the the hologram on their back. Because you were definitely not a real Brian.
Where's your stamp? Where's your Brian stamp? No?
We demand to see the hologram on Juwan's head cut. Oh yeah, they did notice it.
I was just a little nervous there for a second. I was like, is there a hologram on my head that they want to cut off?
Jawad's got a giant John Branyan head in the background. You know how many of those exist in the world? One.
But
So
with
there are no
perspective, it's really not that giant.
It's worth more than the collector's editions of how to avoid large boats. I can give you that.
So we need to do like one of me, and so we can have it on his other shoulder, and we can be like, you know, the good angel and the bad angel.
Yeah, yeah.
Three heads. Three-headed knight.
There you go.
Hey, what's a grand boss? What does that even mean?
Yeah.
I think she works in what's the Fred Flintstone? The Order of the Buffalo.
Oh, the wild buffalo.
Maybe she's
Yeah.
a mason.
Yeah.
She accidentally. Yeah.
She's a mason.
She's a mason.
The grand
She
poobah.
accidentally. Yeah. Someone went on the Masons message board, and took this off of here. That's what happened. And we're reading secret messages that we're sending to each other.
We're actually answering an advice letter from a member of the Illuminati. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, I don't know how we got this. To save the IP address.
We are undertaking deep state politics to try to overthrow the world and usher in a one world government. But my boss keeps mispronouncing my name. What should I do?
How would we all get on the Reddit? The Illuminati.
All right, that's it. That's all. All right, ladies and gentlemen, John Thomas Oakes, or Jet.
Yeah.
Hey.
I asked him a couple of weeks ago if he would come on and tickle the ivories, and that's what is it? Do we still call it that? All the cool kids still calling it tickling the ivories?
Yeah.
Okay. So now I don't want to put you on the spot, but we've got a couple of songs, we've got musical themes that we don't have lyrics for, and we have one that we do have lyrics for, but we don't know what they are. So I wondered if you would take a whack at putting a theme song together for us with lyrics. Did you have a chance to do that?
Yeah, I actually started something, and I've never done this before live on the internet, but I've got a verse and a chorus I thought I'd pitch to you. And
okay.
But before I play it, I want to give a disclaimer that you don't have to say anything at all, because I know what it's like to be right in front of somebody listening to something that you just hate. And then they look at you and like a puppy and go, "What do you think?" And then you have to think of something to say. So as long as you all feel free to just keep the deadpan and don't worry about it, you hate it.
Right?
Or if you don't feel comfortable at that, then just feel free to mock me live on the internet. That's fine too. Yeah. Okay. Thumbs up. Thumbs down. So you can hear that, right? You can hear that? Okay. Well, let me just try this out on you. And you could add some dialogue in the intro here with the little percussion thing that's going to start up if you want to, just like, "Hey, it's John Branyan. Can you hear that?"
Yep. It's very quiet.
Okay.
Oh, the claps. The claps.
Sign up if you dare. Starving comics everywhere. All the world's in quarantine, so catch the vibe and dig the scene. Take a seat, gonna grab a snack, gonna kill a room, gonna talk some smack. Cutting it down like a lumberjack. Come take a ride in my Cadillac. Kicking it live on the radio. Everybody got a right to know. This ain't my first rodeo. Hit the spotlight, here we go. Are you ready for the show?
So that's my idea.
Yes.
Are you ready for the show? That's the hook.
I like it. Yeah.
Okay.
Very Bruno Mars. I like it. It's really good.
Oh, thank you. That's kind of the vibe I was going for. I really like that Uptown Funk kind of group,
Yep.
So, but if you like the idea, I can work on it some more. I was going to add some, funky 70s guitar in there and flesh it out a little bit more. Or if you hate it, I can go back to the drawing board and come up with something different.
But
I do not hate it.
My only critique is we could understand the lyrics.
Oh, yeah.
We could understand them. So if you could just put like a pillow over your face when you're singing them, I think that will be so much better.
Microphone, like they do at the drive-thru. Like just push your face right in the microphone.
It makes us uncomfortable when we're able to sing along properly.
Yeah, that's the vibe we're looking for.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
that was really good.
The other thing
I didn't hear
that
Joanne's name or my name, but that's cool. That's cool.
Oh yeah, I didn't put anybody's name in it, but I can.
No,
put all three of your names in.
Totally kidding.
Totally. But like in the intro, you can say all three of your names. When the drums are just starting up, John and Brian and Juan, or I can actually work it into a lyric, Juan.
Yeah, it's.
No, we don't need the other two guys' names in there.
No, this is John Brannon's Starvation Comics Quarantine Show.
I don't want anybody else's name in there.
Just maybe we can pop up at the end like Ann B. Davis at the end of the Brady Bunch.
Yes.
They do everybody else, and then we just like
right
at the end. I don't know, that'd be kind of fun.
I love the fact that you said Ann B. Davis and not
Alice.
What was her name? Alice. Use the actress's name instead of the character's name.
I'm all about giving proper credit.
Now the other, I really like that, JT, and I was wondering if I could impose on you. John Thomas and I used to tour together, and we did a little show that he wrote, a musical based on the Book of Esther. He and his dad wrote it and set it to music, and it was called Star Queen. And actually, John Thomas and I did that show in Oklahoma City and West Palm Beach, Florida, and Tulsa.
Oh, yeah.
And
we did it all over Florida. We did it down in Miami at 3 or 4 places. Tampa.
Yep.
Yeah, that was fun.
And so one of the things that was fun is I would, JT would set up the piano and he'd be plinking around. And he's got a lot of original music that he's written, a ton of original music. If you can you measure music by the ton?
Yeah, I think so.
A metric ton?
That would be J.S. Bach.
Well,
yeah,
that would be Ann B. Davis. But will you do one of your originals? Can you bust one of those out?
Yeah.
Juan DeVivo original a few weeks ago, and so
yeah. So are you looking for something like something from a show, or what are you thinking?
Well, yeah. It doesn't have to be from a show. There's it's your pick. I want to leave it to you to do something that you like. It doesn't have to be goofy either. You can do whatever you want.
All right. Can I do one from The Legend of Wile E. Jake?
Ooh, which one are you going to do?
What good is living if you're dead?
Yes. Okay. That's actually what I was going to ask for. So
for real?
That's a perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, set it up.
So I should probably set up the premise of the moment, right?
Yeah.
So it's a Wild West version of Jacob and Esau from the Bible, and this is the moment where Esau comes in from the hunt and he's very hungry, and Jacob has just cooked a big pot of stew, and he calls it his famous Texas tongue twister chili. And Big E says, I want some of that. And he says, well, what's it worth to you? And he says, well, I need it. And I say, well, if you need it, I I'll make a deal with you. If you give me, I'll give you the chili if you give me the house, because Esau's the older brother and he had inherited the house from their father, Isaac. So Big E's struggling, trying to decide if he wants to give up the house. And then he finally says, look, Jake, you got to give it to me. I'm about to die. And Jake says, well, if you're dead, the house ain't going to do you no good, no way. Matter of fact, there's so many things in life you're going to miss if you are dead. So many things you take for granted while you're breathing. No more tracking wounded critters through the forest in the fall. No more tobacco plugs nor stakes to sink your teeth in. You're a lover of the simple pleasures. I can't say that I blame ya. But when they fit you out for pine pajamas, heaven's gonna claim ya. What good's good eating? What good are slippers for your feet and fluffy pillows on your bed? Living keeps on getting greater till they drop you in a crater. What good is living if you're dead? What good is wrangling? What good are jingle bells a-jangling while you're snuggling in a sled? Living such a happy story till you're sailing off to glory. What good is living if you're dead? If you're dead, you can't sit high up in the saddle. When you're belly up, you're up the creek without a paddle. What good kissing? Think of the fun that you'll be missing, only 6 feet overhead. Living sweeter than a rose until you're down there decomposing. What good is living if you're dead? What good's my shooter? What good's a pocket full of loot or fancy butter on my bread? Living's like a smorgasbord until it's time to cross the Jordan. What good is living if you're dead? If you're dead, you can't go riding on the prairie. From the time they lock the lid, you're kind of stationary. What good is fishing? What good's a pleasant disposition or a 50-acre spread? Life ain't worth a single acre if you gonna meet your maker. What good is living if you're dead? And this point he turns to Esau and he says, so what's it gonna be, Big E? The chili or the house? And Esau says, a house ain't worth a hill of beans when what I need's a bowl of beans. What good is living? What good is living? What good is living if you're dead?
There you go.
Thank you.
There you go. How do we? You guys have a website, right?
Yeah, we both do.
So people can go and get your music at your website. What is it?
JohnThomasOakes.com, or you can just Google my name.
John Thomas Oakes.
Without the E.
Without the E, right.
Mm-hmm. And
our producer.
Just ties right into our question.
There it is. Yeah. Or you can just type my name into iTunes or Spotify or Pandora or any of those places like that. Amazon Music.
Song. Pine Pajamas was my favorite line.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. John Thomas is, he's got a lot, like I said, a metric ton of music. And one of the things that I will say openly about John Thomas, and he'll be embarrassed and he won't want me to say it, but I'm going to say it anyway, is that he's just a really clever lyricist. He just all of his lyrics are just poetry woven together. And you remember Steve Taylor? Remember Steve Taylor?
Yeah.
I thought that lyrically he was one of the best. I mean, his music was just really, really smart and clever. And JT has some of that gifting as well. He just knows how to put those words together. All right. The other thing I would like to do, JT, since we're running over time here, and I don't even care. is we used to have a name that hymn. We would play name that hymn.
Yeah.
Where you would start playing a hymn, and I would have to try to identify what it is.
Uh-huh.
I would like to do that tonight if we can.
Okay.
You just start in on a hymn, and we'll see if our people can figure out what it is. So start with some of the easy ones, and then move into the more difficult ones.
Okay.
So get your typing fingers ready.
Yeah, get them ready.
Okay. Here's a good one.
I know this one.
I know it too.
I was gonna sing along, but I'm behind by like 5 seconds. So.
First one up on the screen. First right answer is up on the screen.
Oh, there it goes.
There it is.
Yeah.
Good job, Jeff. All right.
Okay, here's a good one.
Oh yeah. Hey, there we go.
Very good.
Nice. Anthony, Eric. Eric got it
Are they
too.
using Siri? Siri, what hymn is this?
Oh.
It's taking a while. Some of these are taking a while, so I'm just wondering if they're using a computer somehow.
Yeah.
Do you want me to keep it simple for a minute, or do you want me to do a little bit harder?
I don't know how much you can make it.
So yeah, it's maybe go mid-level.
Mid-level? Okay, here we
All
go.
right. Yeah, crank it up.
Point values are double.
There it is.
Very good. Yep. That's a good one.
That's one of my favorites. That one is a one that always makes me laugh to think about it, because my brother fancies himself a bass singer, and so whenever that song comes on, the men and the women on the chorus go into different parts.
Yep.
So my brother would always sing the "Wonderful the matchless grace of Jesus, deeper than the mighty rolling sea." Yeah. So, all right, go ahead. That was medium.
Okay, this one's a little bit harder. It's fresh on my mind though, because I've been watching this songwriter on YouTube. She's been doing cover songs like every Sunday, one a week. And a couple weeks ago, she did a song, and she said it was a Paul Simon original, and the lyrics were Paul Simon, but she didn't even mention the fact that the music was not written by Paul Simon. It wasn't there, and so it kind of made me mad that the original composer didn't get credit for this.
Did you comment? Did you write it in the comments?
Yeah, I did. I just wrote the name of the composer in the comments. I couldn't resist. So this one's a little bit harder. But see if you can guess who the composer is. What's that?
Is it the boxer?
The boxer.
That was actually a Mozart piece before you.
Right. Okay. That's not the title.
That's not the name of it.
Yes, very good.
Yes. That's,
That's a Bach chorale that was turned into a hymn.
Jeff is on fire today.
He has got it. All right.
Let's go gospel-y for a minute. You want to go gospel-y for a minute?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, see if you can guess this one. Let me put it in a different. You got it.
Jeff, though, he put a thing on there. He said he's a church pianist.
So this has turned into. This is not Name That Tune. It's now Stump Jeff Spiller.
Yeah. He's played all these.
That's good.
He's got him to fire. All right, so what do you think? You think you want to do one more and see if we can stump Jeff?
Yeah, try to stump.
We can try. It'll be hard. If he's a church pianist, that's going to be hard.
Well, JT's a church pianist too, so
it depends. How old is Jeff? Does anybody know how old Jeff is?
He's 112.
So hit him with an Isaac
church
Watts.
pianist years.
Yeah.
If he's got all of them, he's got all of them so far. So he's not, 20 something.
How about I try a church camp song on him? I wonder if he went to church camp.
I don't know. Let's find out.
Okay. Okay.
That's it. I have no idea.
Yes.
Oh,
He's everything to me.
He's everything to me. Yeah.
And just like that, Jeff Spiller.
I didn't know that one.
Title.
Did I stump him? Did I stump Jeff?
Yep.
All right.
Well, he said not sure the exact title, but it's something like that. But that's close. All right.
Yes.
All right. Well, that was fun. That was fun, and we're probably not going to get booted off of Facebook for copyright infringements having you play the piano. Remember when we did TV theme songs? We got in trouble for that.
Oh yeah.
But that was good though. That was a good one.
Yeah. I have one more request that I would like you to play.
Okay.
JT, you probably guess what it is because I always make this request whenever I ask you to play the piano. You remember what actually I have two. I have two requests that I always make. Do you remember what either one of them are? And if you don't, I'm not going to make you feel bad about it.
Sorry.
That's my job.
I always want you to play either something from Scott Joplin or Linus and Lucy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. Let's see. You said either or, right? Which would you prefer?
Either or. Let's do
Maple Leaf Rag.
Yeah, Maple Leaf Rag. You can't go wrong with that.
Play along. Yay!
Thank you.
That was really good.
Oh, that got me in a musical movie.
Yeah.
Hey, JT, do you ever think about going to like one of the places that have an open piano, like Nordstrom or something? Just sit down, maybe playing something that's out of place there.
Something out of place. Like what?
I was trying to think of a song. Jaws.
Oh, that'd be good.
The theme of Jaws. The Halloween theme.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That's a good idea.
See how long you can do it before they kick you out of there.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, there was an open piano. I think anybody could play.
Michael.
Oh, super fun. All right, we have come to the part of the show that inevitably we always come to at the end, and that's the end. Before we go, I got a couple of announcements. AK with the Comics is back on. You guys can go to the website and find out about that. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the Roundtable, we're doing another Roundtable this week. Last week went, I thought it went pretty well. Brian was there. He's nodding.
Mm-hmm. I thought it went well. I agree.
If you didn't, feel free to criticize me and mock me. So the Roundtable, go to the. You got to be a member. You still got to be a member. We're not letting just anybody in. Just elite members of our comedy clique can come in. You can find that in the members only section. Pull down the menu that says live events. I think live event. Anyway, that's where it is, and you can get a password and you can come on in. And I'm going to teach you guys how to be funny and how to make the world a better place. That's the goal. Also, you should become a subscriber to this show. If you want to support this and keep it going, if you want us to do more Starving Comics, the title is absolutely true. We are comics. We are starving, and we would love to have your support. So jump on the website and send some support, send some love in the form of cash. We would appreciate it. Pointing at Brian. He's pointing. Yeah, there's the thing down there for the subscriber. And it seems like there was something else. Oh yeah, if you are a subscriber, it's been a while since we mentioned this. You can go to the special subscribers only file area, and you can download a certificate that looks just like this, and it actually has membership duck on it.
Wow.
Remember membership duck? Remember membership duck? There he is. He's popping up in front of Brian. This is an official certificate of membership. You can put your name right there, John Brandon's Comedy Click. And the bearer of this certificate is recognized as an official Click member and duly entitled to all privilege and benefits afforded by said membership, including the legal right to claim Donation Duck as a personal mascot and use the character without restriction in any effort to brag, boast, bluster, or gloat about membership in the Click.
Wow.
It's got my John Hancock right there. So
that's exciting.
And that's available. That's for free. And you know what else is in the file section now that wasn't there a few weeks ago? You know what it is, Joanne. What is it?
Oh, is it all my important work that I've been doing?
Yeah, it's Juwan DeVivo's overly specific Mad Libs are now available. Yes, they're available in the file section. So you can download them right now after the show. You can download Juwan DeVivo's overly specific Mad Libs and play at home with your loved ones. Are you kidding me?
That's great. A car trip. It's a long car trip, or if you're at the pool or at church, anywhere you can play these Mad Libs. I specifically suited them to be able to play anywhere.
That's great.
Oh, they're fantastic. They're so good. And we're going to add more stuff like this all the time. The things like this and overly specific Mad Libs, and who knows what else in the future. Maybe we might put one of JT's songs up in the audio section. We could do that, couldn't we?
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you need to get a hold of us, you can drop us a line at my website. Brian April, how do they get a hold of you?
You can find me at comedybrian.com or just at comedybrian on social media. With the BRIAN, again, real Brian. Not those fake Brians.
Not the fake Brian. Look for the hologram.
That's right.
Where you see Brian. Of course, Casting Crowns is getting ready to go back out on the road and start going to drive-ins. Is that correct, Juwan? Yep.
Yeah, we're going to play some drive-ins in little small towns because drive-ins don't really pop up in big urban cities.
Hey,
so we'll be outside of those urban cities. And
if you come to Elizabethton, I grew up about 100 yards from a drive-in, and it's still operating. So you guys need to come there.
What's the name of the drive-in? What's the name of it?
State Line Drive-In in Elizabethton, Tennessee. Last week they did a live Garth Brooks concert. So,
yep.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep. So look for Casting Crowns at a drive-in near you. Come out and say hello to Juwan.
I will wave to you. I'm not like that other people that won't wave to you. I will wave.
Just don't call him Juan. And then John Thomas Oakes tonight is the website. Also, John Thomas, we played Story Salad a few weeks ago. Some of you may remember that. Is that
quarantine time? Weeks or years?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So that's it. Unless you guys have something else that I've forgotten.
No, I think that's it.
Okay. This was fun. We're going to do it again. We're going to have to put a little thought into the name those hymns and maybe kick Jeff Spiller out of the future episodes, right? I mean, what's the point? What's the point in letting Jeff Spiller play? Right?
And Bible quiz days, we would quiz out. If you answered 3 questions, you're like, you can't answer anything.
Right. Right. It's like, we get it. You know every hymn ever written. Okay, we get it. But that was fun. John Thomas, thanks for being here.
Hey, it was great to meet you guys. Thanks for having me on the show.
You other two, great.
Awesome.
All of you at home, thanks for being here. And we will see you next week, same time, Sunday night, 7 o'clock Eastern time. So long.